Welcome back to Girl Games WoW. This is Silvana, and we're back on our tune for another special episode. This time dealing with gear and the AH and bags. So let's start with the first thing, the auction house. I'm going to walk up to the auction house and we'll go. Now I know I've talked a little bit on the add-on video about the auction house, but I just wanted to go slightly a little more in depth. This is going to be probably a really short video, but I wanted to show you actually how it works. So we're going to go over here to the auction house. Okay, so this is the Ironforge auction house. There are 3 auctioneers. They are all tied to the same auction house, so it doesn't matter which one you go to. So you just walk up to them and right click them and it'll pull up your auction house. And so let's say bags. We only have 2. Let's say we wanted a new bag. So we go over here, container, bag. And hit search. It's going to pull up every bag that is on the AH, and there's going to be a lot of the same ones. Here's the hex weaves. These are the biggest bags currently that I'm aware of in the game. They are a 30 slot bag. They are very expensive to buy, and the reason for that is because it takes a specialty cloth to tailor these bags, and you can only make 1 a day. So these are expensive because this one bag, probably took this person a good week to 10 days to make, just for the cloth. The littler bags are much more affordable because the cloth for them is much easier to get. So you just scroll through and see what you're looking for. Now, if I had the money, I would buy an Ember Silk bag. They're really nice bags, but obviously I don't, so I keep looking. Usually a bag that's affordable pretty early on for a low level. Wow, frostwave bags are expensive today. Well, these imbued nether weaves aren't bad. Look at how less the regular nether weave is. And I want to go over, okay, nether weaves are a 16 slot bag. 16 slots is how many your backpack has. It's this many. So it's a good sized bag. Imbued is 18, so 2 more. But look at that price difference. This one is almost, that's a 5? That's 10 times 11, 12. About 12 times as expensive for 2 spots. So when it comes to this type of stuff, really look at what the difference is slot wise and price wise, because really 2 extra spots per bag is not worth this markup. So now this is where our little add-on that we talked about comes in handy. So we know netherweave bags are pretty inexpensive. Um, and then here's some that are really, really small that are up for sale for, I don't know, this seems kind of high for this bag actually, for a couple silver. But so let's go in our auctionator and we'll go weave back and we'll search. Did I spell it wrong? I could have spelled that wrong. I might have spelled that wrong now. Nether, okay. I thought that's what I spelled it as, but we'll double check. Nether. Weave. Right. Try that again. There we go. Okay. So here we put it in the bag and it's pulled up both nether weaves and imbued. You click nether weave. It's going to show you all the auctions up, how many stacks, and how many are. So stacks means individual sales. And then, so it says 18 stacks of one. So that means there's 18 individual sales, each of one bag. Sometimes you'll find things that are in sale or on sale for, so many stacks of, and that number will be different than one. Just remember, the number of stacks is how many individual sales of the, and then that last number is how many is for sale in that sale. Oh, well, shoot. I knew I had that open for a reason. Dang it. Okay, another thing I wanted to go over with this is I'm using armor here just for a different thing I wanted to talk to you guys about is, so here we go. I'm not going to care about the price because obviously I am not buying any of this stuff. I want to talk about how you check to see if the item is better than what you have. Whether it's at a vendor, it's at the auction house, or it's in your bag, the way to check is the same. So you have your mouse over it, you hit shift. Now, we don't have one. Or they're identical. So, okay, here. This did it on its own. See how it popped out not only the description of what the item is, but you see that second window right next to it there to the right where it shows in green little pluses, armor, intellect, spirit. That's what you want to look for. That is a plus. And make sure every so often, because you don't have a lot of room in your bags, that you're stopping at a vendor every so often and you're vendoring off your trash. And what that means is you open up your bags, You look and see what you have. Now, obviously, my bags are very empty because we haven't been questing yet. Not since the last video. Oh, so you only have one item, and you know it's a great item. That means it's worthless. You can sell it. As you level up, you'll notice some items will have a little gold piece in the corner. That is an in-game thing. That's no add-on. The game developers at Blizzard has put that in. So you know if you see that little gold piece in the corner, that it's safe to sell. If it's grayed out, it's safe to sell. Otherwise, if it's a weapon or a armor piece, you know, put your mouse over it. If you don't see that second window automatically pop out, when your mouse is over it, hit your shift button. It'll pull up the information of that gear. If it's no, you know, if it's the same as what you have on, or it's worse than what you have on, or and when we level this tune up a bit more, we will talk about what you need for your class. I don't know every person's, so that is something I will suggest to you that you go separately to Thoughtbot, Icy Veins, Google, WoW Wiki. Go and investigate what your class is and what your spec is. You know, so put in there, you know, marksman hunter if you're a hunter, if you're a marksman hunter, or you know, since we're talking about monks, now we're not leveled up enough. The specializations, that's why we say spec for short, doesn't open up until we're 10. So I don't think it'll show me any information on that right now. But a tank needs special things. I believe it's strength is their main skill. Here, let me pull up your character while I'm talking about that. Okay, here's your character. Okay, first thing I always do is show character information. That's this corner, this arrow back here. I always have my character information out so that you can look. These are your attributes: strength, agility, intellect, stamina. Okay, so hunters and most DPSs rely on agility. Most tanks rely on strength. Most healers rely on intellect. Stamina is for everybody. But research what you are to which one of these you should be paying attention to. And there are secondary stats also that you should be paying attention to. Uh, Damage, or and we're too low to talk about those extra ones, but when we get there I'll make a call out to that. But do a little research on what's good for your character and what it needs, and then make sure that you're focusing that on that when you pick up your armor. Now when you're low level like this, anything I would say probably 30 or below, really, and even a little above that to a certain extent, you're going to be trading out and leveling, so trading out your gear and leveling so quick that picking up a strength item isn't going to be as detrimental to you if you're a healer, or picking up an intellect item if you're a tank. These are things you shouldn't do unless your specific tank spec research says that you should. But in generalities, a tank should never have an intellect item on there. A healer shouldn't have a strength item on them. Things like that. When you're really, really low and you're leveling and trading out gear real fast, it doesn't matter as much. But when you get higher, it's gonna matter. And people, especially if you go dungeoning, people will look what you have on and they will notice if you don't have the right gear. And so I suggest personally, while it's not important necessarily, just get in the habit. Find out early in your character, as soon as you decide, if you don't know when you very first start playing, what spec you're going to pick. When you get to level 10 and you pick that specialization, go out and research what you need to look at for your armor and weapons, whether it's strength, intellect, or you know, speed. What are the things you need to look at for your weapons and your armor? And every time you get a piece, you make sure it fits in that so that you are in that habit of always looking for those correct pieces so that you never have to worry about being called out as you go into a dungeon or you go into a raid about having not being able to go because you have the wrong piece. And trust me, I've played this game long enough. I'm telling you, it'll happen. If you are a healer and you have a strength item, you can get booted out of a dungeon for that. You could be doing perfectly well and still get booted if they notice you have the wrong gear on because it in their mind, whether or not it's really affecting your performance, and in the very lower levels it won't, but in the higher levels it will. It seriously will. But if you're doing this at a low level, it kind of shows that you don't know or you don't care about what you're doing. And so if you don't know, or that means you don't care to educate yourself. And so they want to make sure that they're running with people that know and care to do things right. So just keep that in mind. The people in this game can be very cruel sometimes, and they are not, I hate to say it, and I don't mean to lump everybody together because for everyone that is this way, there's always going to be an exception. But there's a good proportion of the WoW playing audience that have been playing for years and years and years, and they are not always nice to new players. They will call you names, they will randomly boot you from parties. So just keep that in mind. And even if you're not dungeoning and you're not raiding and you're just playing by yourself, PvEing, just you want to have the best character you can. So make sure you have the right gear for that. Alright, so this went a little longer than I anticipated. Thank you for watching Girl Games WoW. Like and subscribe and have a nice day.